Hey everyone, welcome back to It's a Cold World. Well, round 3 was definitely a treat in the WNBL. We had the Townsville Fire back up after they had a loss. Some might have called that an early upset. We had Courtney Woods. She was on triple-double watch previously. She's still been super consistent. But it was WNBA import Lucy Olsen who really stepped up in that loss against the Flyers in the second half. And she hit 4 3-pointers, ending the game with 22 points, 5 assists, and 2 steals. Then in their second game in round 3, Mila Sowa, it was like she had never left. She was versing her old team in the Perth Lynx. And has she found her feet at the Fire now? She came off a huge game, scoring 26 points, 7 rebounds, and 2 steals. So even though they did have that loss, I think it might have been good for the Fire to get one early. And I think we're just going to see their trajectory rise and rise. Then we had the Adelaide Lightning, who had their first win on the board at their second full capacity crowd, which is absolutely amazing. The new stadium looks great. Lightning definitely needed a W in that column. But it was just a great team game. They had 4 players in double figures. Steph Talbot is just she's stuffing the stat sheet. And for me, she's just been incredible on both ends of the floor. But she's their vet, she's their leader, and she is paving the way for them. But again, it was imports who had really had breakout performances. So for me, Sanaya Fagan and Sabrina Sundell were 2 big names. Fagan had a double-double with 19 points and 10 rebounds. And she's in the WNBA with the Sparks. She's a 3x3 MVP at a World Cup. So she knows what she's doing. And for me, she could be a real X factor. And Sundell had a nice 14 points, 7 boards, and 3 steals. And I can't wait to see what she can bring to the Lightning team. We then had the UC Caps have another loss. They had a 35-point loss to the Townsville Fire. If you haven't watched the press conference post-game after that, Paul Goris was not happy. So I don't think him and the team are going to be thrilled that they then followed it up with another loss against the Adelaide Lightning. Some might have thought the Caps should have gone into that game with a big win. But what are they going to do to turn it around? Because they have a game against the Sydney Flames. Both teams are in a must-win situation. But I do think Canberra can still be in it to win it, be a finals team. They still have Zatina Okuzo coming back into their squad. Then we had a nail-biter of a game. It was Geelong Venom, Perth Lynx, literally went down to the final play of the game, the final buzzer. They had 0.3 seconds left to get up a shot. The shot went in from Mackenzie Holmes, but just not in the nick of time. Mackenzie Holmes, best import in the league, I say right now. She dominated that game again with 22 points and 15 boards. And then it was really nice to see Gemma Potter bounce back after she was held scoreless against Bendigo Spirit. But she came out with 16 points, 5 rebounds, and 3 blocks, and she was shooting the ball quite nicely. So Venom, they still have Shyla Hill to come into the mix. We've just realised that Alyssa Pilley, we heard, is still 5 to 6 weeks away. But Geelong also, they need to start getting some wins. But again, so many positives to take out of that game, even though they did lose in the final seconds. But Perth, couldn't have been more excited to see Ali Wilson and Steph Gorman back on the squad for them. Willie hadn't skipped a beat against that Geelong Venom game. In just 20 minutes, she had 14 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 assists. So absolutely insane. But in the second game they had in that round against the Townsville Fire, she went off in the second half, didn't come back on. Could be a potential broken nose, maybe concussion protocol. Still waiting to hear about it. But Alex Chi-Batoni also missed that game due to ankle foot soreness. So with 2 point guards missing, who's going to step up and help Perth get another win? They were undefeated till the Fire, but it's also imports again, Turner and Morris, who have had a huge impact, being so big, so athletic on the inside, massive presence, but both ends of the floor. Then we go to Bendigo, where another import had a standout game with Meg McConnell, 21 points, 4 rebounds, 6 assists, and 3 steals. So definitely a breakout performance from her. And of course, Izzy Borlase has really started strong this season. another big performance with 26 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, and 3 steals. So doing it everywhere. But I think we have to also give credit to Kelsey Griffin and Mariana Tolo, who they're the vets. They're holding down the fort. And I think without them and their knowledge and I think their experience, I don't think that would allow the others to have that success. So I can't wait to see what Bendigo Spirit do. Sydney, unfortunately, they had another loss to add to their tally, but one player who can't be stopped is new mum, Loz Nicholson. Another 27-point performance, absolutely insane. And another few consistent plays I've been liking is Unique Thompson, another import, and also Agnes Eminopu. So for me, yes, they've been consistent, but who's going to help Loz Nicholson get more scoreboard pressure for them and get a win? So they versus the UC Caps. So again, two teams that need a win. That is going to be a fun, fiery game. And they also have Shanice Swain back. So bringing her back, is that going to help? She's out with back soreness. That would be interesting. And then again, I said it might be a big upset, but Townsville Fire had their first loss to the Southside Melbourne Flyers. And it was an absolute cracker of a game. Each team throwing punches, each coach calling timeouts. They were responding, having counters. It was a great match of basketball. And then we had the absolute vet in Cayla George, who really has stood up in their last two games. She had a double-double of 26 points, 12 rebounds, and she hit 6 3-pointers and shot the three ball at just over 54%. So she's definitely helped leading her team and one of the most talented, elite, and just a great caliber athlete in the WNBL. She is going to be my very special guest today. So cannot wait. Australian Opal, WNBL champion, WNBL MVP, Cayla, welcome to It's a Cold World. I'd like to introduce my very special guest. She's one of the best personalities in the game. She's also one of the most decorated athletes. WNBL, super lucky to have a caliber like her. Aussie Opal, WNBL champion, MVP. The list could go on. Wikipedia, if you don't already know what she's achieved. Cayla George, a.k.a. Georgie Gow.
Thanks for having me, Coley.
Oh, so happy to have you on today and appreciate your time. We were just speaking real quick off before we press record. What is it like? You're in Melbourne, change of scenery. It's not that new because you were with Boomers previously, but you got your daughter Pearl, you've got the dogs, you got your hubby. What is life like at the moment for you?
Life at this time of day, like anywhere between 3 to 5 is like crazy hour in our house because the dog's in like half an hour will be like, Mum, where's my food? Pearlie will probably have a snack. It's like, and so I've got some at the ready just in case she comes over mid podcast. But no, it's actually really great. We've got a really cool space here. I was about to say where, but like probably don't want to tell everyone where I live, but it's cool. It's in the burbs. I was in St Kilda for my 5 years with Boomers, so it's nice to be a little bit closer to the State Basketball Centre instead of spending an hour and a half each way in traffic heading to State Basketball Centre from St Kilda, particularly when it rains. Not that I'm dissing Melbourne drivers, but when it does rain, people do struggle a little bit, like good ways, but...
Oh, I get it. I'm in St Kilda and last season...
The rain is scary, I guess.
And obviously you're in new colours. How does it feel and why did Southside Melbourne Flyers feel like the right fit for you this season?
Yeah, so I had Chrissy as my assistant coach in my last season at Boomers, and I loved what she was about then. I loved her energy. I loved our relationship then. And I feel, she was on my school books when I was coming up through the ranks myself. I had the Sydney and the Athens teams on my school books, when schools used to have books that we'd write in. I know now it's all like laptops and iPads and whatever else they've got going on, these inventions. I sound like a total grandma, but we used to use books and write in them. So I used to have posters of the Opals on my books, and she was on that, and a lot of my teammates like Susie, Lauren, Penny, like all those, like Sandy, full circle moments all over the place, and no different with Chrissy. I think she's got a great IQ for the game, and she's really settling into her second year coaching, and I love being around her. She's a firecracker, she really lets you know when she needs to let you know, but it's really great. She's after chatting with her in the off season, I felt like, Southside would be a great fit, particularly just, because I wanted to play under to Christy and then also, playing with Rochi instead of against her. She's a tough guard. So it's nice to be her teammate. And then obviously, Izzy Bourne, we got Hayley Peters. We just got a great group. Tedder, like it's a great group of girls, good young girls too. So like all in all, it's a good feeling.
And you spoke about Christy and obviously that her IQ of the game and like she's a hard nut, like she plays like she coached. And I have to ask you about the wrestle ball. If you guys haven't looked it up, you need to go to the press conference. And can you explain a little bit for the fans a bit about the wrestle ball? Let them know.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, so Christy decided to put a drill in a few weeks back after our loss to Canberra so it's no dribble and no fouls are called, and it's first to 5. So it can take anywhere between 5 minutes to 35 minutes to complete this drill. And we were pretty ordinary at the start because we were just like bear hugging each other, holding onto each other's arms, like headbutting each other on accident, like it was manic, like it was actually borderline dangerous. And Christy was like, nah, your offense, you're rushing, like figure it out. We'll get better. 2-3 weeks later, finally this week, she's like, you know why that looks better with the wrestle ball today? Because we're getting better at being poised under pressure, being poised with physicality. So it did feel much better this week than probably the previous weeks, because especially that first week, we did it multiple times in that week and it was a lot. And as you know, like it's hard. Not everyone calls fouls at team practice, but in our practices, like nothing's called and you can't react. You just get on with it. So like, there's a lot of like inner rage that happens, but we've done a pretty good job of just like getting on with it. So I think with the physicality of the league this year, that's just kind of training us to get on with it, because you can't stop and have a sook. You've just literally got to get on with it, because they're not going to call everything, and even more so this year than any other year, because they're really letting a lot of physicality go.
And speaking just of the physicality of the league, like definitely watching the games, you can tell. And drills like them, even though as an athlete, it makes you crazy. Like you said, it makes you want to like go see someone and talk about it because the inner range is so real. Is this maybe something?
No.
Is this what the team like identity?
The inner range is wild.
It's wild. Is this like a team identity that maybe you want to be known for, is applying that pressure for other teams?
Yeah, totally. Like, I mean, defensively, we want to be all up and in teams. I feel like it's the same for any team. You want to be known as like a really strong defensive team, and then, that channels good energy from your defense straight into your offense, which is always really nice. But I would just say the other day, this is what these podcasts are for, the little tidbits. It was like a couple of weeks ago. I think my period was about to come. And so I was a little like extra ragey and a bit squawky, like, like at training, a bit more noises. So I had to apologize to one of our young girls after. I was like, hey, I know I said to you to get out of the way in that offense, but like I could have said it to you less ragey, but my period was coming. So that's why it came out real ragey. She was like, that's okay. I was like, okay. Had to just let her know, like, hey, what I said was good, but how I said it wasn't, because my period's coming. So it was all understood.
But I think this
women in sport, am I right?
Right. Ding, ding, ding. But I think that's a great thing about you. Yeah. You just spoke about talking to the younger girls, is your leadership. And how is it like being a leader with Maddie Rochi? He's been a part of the club for ages, is also a point guard, so she's the general on the floor. How has that combination of you team been like, as well as for you personally? What do you really pride yourself on as a leader and just like as a vet of this league and all the knowledge that you have?
Yeah, I really pride myself on filling up other people's cups, because then they organically, like it fills up mine to see their cups full. And with Roch, like if I can fill her cup up, really help her be the best leader possible and really rely on her in big moments to like really make big calls and be that point guard, be that floor general. And also for Roch, we can all get a bit ragey on the court and like just really keeping her settled. So, our ship would be settled if she stays settled. So I feel like it's really guiding her and helping her in that space and it's being for whatever she needs from me as a leader. I think that I'll just kind of nurture her in that space. I've been around a long time and people expect it from me, right? So I'll just continue to do what I do on the side and have that expectation. That's fine. But I really want to like nurture and allow Rochi to really come through with the leadership goods, which I think she's done a fantastic job so far and really continue to excel in that role, particularly as the point guard, because there are times in games as a post player, I want to look to my point guard too. I don't care how experienced I am. Like, I want to look to my point guard and be like, hey, what are we running? What do you see? Because how I see it is different to how she sees it at times, So I want her to really embrace that role. And I think so far, so good.
And obviously, basketball, any sport is filled with highs and lows, wins and losses. What was the team's mindset going from the first game where you lost to the Caps at, where I say, an amazing John Cain Arena? I wish every game was there for every Melbourne game. But sometimes as an athlete, that first game, it's almost like you just want to win it so bad to create momentum. But what was the shift? Then you guys came out, you beat the most hyped up team in the league for this season, Townsville Fire. Massive statement. What was that like for the confidence of the team?
Yeah, I think coming into that John Cain Arena game, there was so much build up. The league had done such a good job. Sorry, Pearl, I'm just on a call here, sis. Would you mind? Do you want an up and go? I've got one here. Nah, ignoring me. So yeah, the build-up to that was nuts, which is so great for the WNBL, the rebranding and everything. It was just like John Cain Arena game, boom, boom, boom. You wouldn't have thought there was any other games the whole season. So that one, they just did such a good job of just like promoting it. And then mine and Jade's big ugly mugs, or my ugly mug, Jade's pretty face, was up on bloody everywhere, which is great. Like promote, unreal. Did a great job. We had some great numbers at the game, and I think just like the overwhelming like build up to that, and then we weren't able to shoot on the court because there was a Diamonds game the night before, and then there was a men's game after ours. So minimal prep time on the court, which, I mean, isn't an excuse really. But I think there was just a lot of moving parts leading into that game. And again, like you said, game one, bit of nerves, bit of anxiety, get it done. And we kind of just fell short. We probably started a bit too anxious, and we probably needed an extra quarter to probably, maybe get a lead. I don't know, but we kind of left it a bit late, our run. But Canberra, credit to them, they came in really ready, came prepared, shot the ball well, and took us out of our stuff. So essentially from that game, rest of the ball came into play, and we just had to knuckle down and remember our identity, who we want to be known as, and, with the physicality of the league, make sure we can handle whatever's thrown at us. And if we're doing it at training every week, the games will ultimately be easier because we're literally manhandling each other at training and not reacting and not calling fouls and literally getting thrown to the floor at times. But it's fine because no one calls fouls, so we'll just play on. Like, our trainings are pretty intense at times, but it's so good for us. We all leave like high-fiving and laughing and hugging, thank goodness, because it's not in every, team that I've played for that would be the case. But we know that what Christy's trying to do. And so I think ultimately, because we've had success now that we've been doing rec ball with the last 2 wins, and we can gradually see at both ends of the floor the progression that we're making. So I don't think rec ball gone anywhere. It's here to stay.
And you personally, I just don't think people understand you have good games. And then, well, what other people might call bad games. You might have done 1 million other things great on the floor, but you might have only scored 2 points. And I absolutely loved your comment when commentator Kelsey Brown, and you said, oh, if I play bad, then I'm moldy cheese. But if I play good, I'm aging like a fine wine. And it was this for you, Cayla George. But can you explain the mindset? Because I don't think also people understand you're a human. You're a mum. You have your daughter, Pell. You're also a partner. You're a fur baby mum. Like, can you explain the mindset of how you go from like, hey, oh, okay, these people are attacking me. They're telling me I should retire and I'm old, to like, yeah, did you see me? Just, this is what I do. This is Cayla George, but that's a part of sport. What's the mindset like for you?
Yeah, honestly, like I've seen it all before. People have talked crap about all of us athletes. We're all on a platform where we're exposed to people sliding in the DMs with clown faces, with like, you're an idiot, retire, hope your family dies, stuff like really horrible in the DMs sometimes. Like we must mess up people's parlays or something or whatever, or people just generally don't like us, which is sad because like, you don't really know us, but cool, you can have your opinion, but social media, everyone just feels like they can say whatever. But I feel like as soon as I turned 30, like apparently I was meant to retire after Tokyo, and I was like, who said that? No one told me I was meant to retire after Tokyo. I've had some of my best years since Tokyo. So WNBA championship, MVP, like 2 Taiwanese championships, WNBL championships, like, I mean, I'm not going to toot my own horn, but babe, like relax. Like I'll retire when I'm good and ready. But the funny thing is, like, yeah, I guess because I am in my 30s, like if I have a game where I don't look like I'm playing well, similar to when I was in my 20s or my teens, like, it's the same thing for me. I just didn't have a great game on the scoring front, but in my mind now I try and, facilitate, rebound, do other things, lead. Like, there's so much you can do in a game that has impact, as you know, particularly as an older athlete and you've been around for so long. So, yes, after the JCA game, I probably I was floating a little bit in that game, probably a little bit. And I look back at that, I watched some videos similar to what I would have done in my 20s and reflected on it and got better. So then I was like, yeah, you're right. I need to be better for this team. I need to probably be a bit more assertive offensively to help this team. Boom, boom, boom. And then we fix it. Mindset, yep, let's just be a bit sharper. And then that week at training, I felt really sharp and similar to how I would have in my 20s. But because I'm in my 30s, it's, she needs to retire. She's done. She had an off game. So, like, if I had perfection across the season and averaged 30 and 15, would that be enough for
Probably
people?
not, but
it's just a bit absurd. So I just kind of take it with a grain of salt, to be honest, sis. Like, it is what it is. People hate everyone at times at this level. You kind of get hate and you just got to deal with it. But I don't really use it as motivation because I don't try and let it affect me. I just kind of, it's on to the next game. Like, I bounced back pretty well most of my career, like from tough games or tough losses or whatever. So I'll just do the same thing like I've done always and bounce back. And there I was bouncing back, and we've had a couple of good wins. But, if I had 10 rebounds, 10 assists and 0 points, I'd be the happiest bird ever because, I mean, look at the firepower on our team. So on any given night, it can be anyone. So whatever the haters say, they can keep talking. I'll play until I'm bloody good and ready to retire.
And I love this and I love the honesty because I think it's really important for the younger generation coming up understanding, hey, how does someone with the caliber and the status of Cayla George handle something like this? Because I think we've all been through it as well, where our identity was based on how many points I scored. And then you're like, oh no, but did you know I actually scored 0 points, but I shut down that player? Or, take it with a grain of salt.
Totally.
So I really appreciate that because I think it's super important for younger girls and boys to know when this happens, how do I deal with it? And I now want to go to your team, right? It's new for you. You have so many younger people that you've spoken about that you're leading, paving the way. And who's someone from pre-season to maybe the first few games that has actually really impressed you?
Yeah, I mean, what age of young are we talking? Like in mid-20s or like teens? Because there's a few different age brackets, but I'll give you one from each.
I like that. Yeah.
Izzy Bourne to me is, Izzy Bourne in, early to mid-20s. She's an opal to me. She was with the Asia Cup group, but I think she works really hard. She's got a great head on her shoulders. She's got some fantastic tricks up her sleeve, in the post, got great footwork, and wants to really absorb things that I say and has a real level of respect for me, which is really, it feels really good. Like, I feel like I can really just nurture her, and I never claim to know everything ever, but I do know that I have a lot of experience. So when I can apply that in circumstances where I can help her, then I love doing that because she's just a real gem, and I really cannot wait to see what her future looks like, especially in the international game. I think she'll just go from strength to strength in the WNBL, and if I can help nurture her with the seasons that we're here together in the next couple at Southside, then my job, I guess, like, I feel really good about that. And then Manny would be in the younger age bracket.
Love Manny.
Manny Potts, I think she's a little bloody legend. And she is tough as nails, mate. I get bumped and pushed and shoved and bumped, and she does not back down. And I love it. I absolutely love it because it makes me better as a player because I get a lot of that in games anyway, a lot of physicality, a lot of hoot. So, Manny just isn't shy to just go hard. And I love it. And I think she's got a great looking shot on her when she's confident, like that 3-point shot. She shoots them from long range too. She got one on me today at training because I overhelped. I was like, you bloody flog, you bloody. But she's great. She's honestly, Stanley. Sorry. I'm looking forward to seeing how Manny goes in the next couple of years. She was just obviously with the Gemmies this year, had a great year with them. And I think she had a great impact in her role. And so Pearl's just like scooting around the house and the dogs are chasing her. They've got this like ball. I don't know if you can hear it. It's like one of those like weird sounding balls and the dogs are obsessed. Anyways, but no, Manny, like obsessed with her. She's so funny and a real, for a 19-year-old, like super mature. Like I feel like at times I've got to check myself like, wait, am I more immature than you right now, Manny? Like I'm old enough to be a mum. Do I need to like grow up sometimes? Like she's actually
No, she
great.
is. And getting hit by a screen on her, I want to melt it to the ground. She is so strong. And like you said, great teammate. I can't wait to see what she brings and how she progresses this season. And I think it's super great that you want to help these young ones like Manny, like Izzy, and just you want to leave the game better than you found it as well. And I think it's so great that they have someone in the team like you to look up to. I want to go to Hayley Peters as well, one of your imports. She's starting, of course, she's starting to find her feet. What do you like about her game and what do you think she can bring with her overseas experience?
Hayley, yeah, no, she's great. She's another vet head. It's nice to have someone in their 30s in the team as well, so it's not just me on an island. Um, so she's just really savvy, really smart, great 3-point shooter, really great defensively. We can switch a lot in that, that little trifecta of me, Izzy, and Hayley. So that's fun. It makes it a bit more assertive, a bit aggressive. It's a good look if we go to that option. And then we're quite big with T in the 2 as well, like when we have that lineup. So I just think that she's a really smart, savvy, experienced player. She's played in France a very long time. She's had a couple stints in the WNBA, most recently in Connecticut this last year. So she's very seasoned when it comes to international basketball play. And she just goes about her. She's just a pro. And she's really fun to be around, and I'm stoked that we've got her here. I call her my twin, but maybe that's just because we're in our 30s. But there's a lot of similarities that we both have. I can't even think of one right now, but there was 2 or 3 the other day that she remembered. I was like, oh my gosh, oh, that's right. She loves mint ice cream. And I was like, me too. We must be related. So crazy.
No, it is an odd thing. Not many people love mint ice.
Dumb, but no, she's great. She's great.
And then you're obviously coming off 2 great wins. Perth just got their first loss. You're versing them this weekend. For any basketball fan, that's going to be a super fun game to watch. How's the team feeling going into that game? And maybe what are a couple of the key themes you guys are, without giving too much away or the scout or nothing like that, but going into this week?
I think everyone kind of knows Perth the last chunk of years under Ryan. They've just been run and gun. They're very tough to guard in that space because, everyone's kind of got a green light. You've really got to play really, really sharp trans D, make sure, your Amy Atwells, your Allies, they can all shoot them. Annalie, she's been lighting it up too, shooting threes. And so, yeah, I think it's just about making sure we stay really sharp and crisp and execute what our game plan is. And it's always tough to go to Perth because, there is a bit of a time zone difference as well. But I've actually not played at that new arena yet. I think some of the girls said last year you guys, Flyers, played there, but we always played at Perry Lake. So it'd be good to check out the new digs. But no, it's always a really fast-paced game against Perth. And so, yeah, look, I'm looking forward to it. And they don't have Hahn yet, but I think the next time we play them, they may have Hahn. So this would be the last, I don't know, one of our last games without Hahn, I guess. So they've got Brianna, who I think is doing a phenomenal job for them. She's playing her role perfectly alongside, the current starters. So, look, it's always tough. Big travel and a big ask, you got to get your sprinting legs on. So my gazelle legs are getting prepped as we speak, just to make sure I'm, real light on my feet, real fast. I might even shave my leg hairs to gain a bit of extra speed.
And obviously we know,
might wear a
shave my abs too, shave my brows, anything. But, but we all know the team goal is to hopefully win a championship. But do you have any personal goals that you want to do, whether that be in the WNBL afterwards? What keeps you motivated and keep going?
Yeah, that's such a great question because since Paris, I've just felt for the first time ever in my career, a level of peace. Mm-hmm. We got that medal. Whatever happens from here on out, I'm forever an Olympic medalist. And because the Opals have such a rich history and a rich legacy of medaling. So when we didn't medal in Rio and Tokyo, it really... it hit really hard because I'm a part of those 2 teams that didn't medal. So am I a part of tarnishing the Opals legacy? And it was a hard process to kind of work through. So I didn't really, in my mind, in Paris leading into it, I was like, we're winning a medal. There's just no other option. We have to win a medal here. And we all felt it and we all felt the extra pressure, but we managed it really well. We had each other's back. And then obviously losing to Nigeria, I think almost gave us an extra level of pressure, but we all kind of, took the challenge on and obviously finished off with the bronze, which was just the best feeling. So from here on out, I mean, I'd love to win another WNBL championship. That's always, would be something great because then that would make it 5 and I could be up to Tolo's level. She's got 5. Who else has 5?
I know.
Kelsey Griffin, does she have 5? I don't know. Probably. Anyways, that would be lovely. I don't know. There's a couple of them that've got a 5. So yeah, that would be lovely. In terms of Opal stuff, like we just won the gold at Asia Cup. That felt really good. I'm still playing high level basketball and I'm still enjoying it. So, the World Cup's next year. I'll do my best to try and, work really hard to make that team. And so, yeah, for now, I'm just really just more at peace with it'll be what it'll be, in terms of what, my life looks like in the next coming years. But right now I still want to work hard. I still want to achieve things, but I feel like if I had to stop or if basketball was taken away from me, like right now, that I'm so content, and have a lot of peace with, my career. So whatever's happening now is a bonus. But like I said, in saying that, it doesn't mean I change how I approach it. It's the same mindset. It's the same work ethic. It's, still wanting to achieve great things while I'm still playing, because you can't play forever, right? And Christy, whenever she talks about it in team huddles, she gets so emotional. So I can't even bloody look at her eyeballs because my tear ducts just go nuts. And even at one point she was like, Cayla's not got long left. And I was like, oh, Christy. Like it was nuts. But she's not wrong. I don't have long left. I'm definitely further towards the back end of my career than the front, no doubt. But when that end will be, like, I don't know. I'm still enjoying basketball. I don't even know what Pearl's having for dinner tonight, let alone what I'm doing next year, next week, like tomorrow. Like, come on, be so for real. Like day by day, babe.
It's so beautiful though, you saying peace. I don't think a lot of athletes get to that. Like some actually never feel that. Some do. So it's so nice to see that you've created that, but still also so much to look forward to. It's really exciting still that we get to watch Cayla George here in Australia and maybe again, hopefully on the international stage. But there was one other question I really needed to ask because the Southside Melbourne Flyers had a new jersey for the Indigenous round. They had the same from Emma Stenhouse the last couple of years. Do you know the artist's name who designed your jersey? And can you maybe explain a little bit about the designs? Because not just the Flyers, but everyone in the WNBL, the jerseys were so beautiful and incredible. And I love that some teams are still able to wear them throughout the season.
Yeah, absolutely. So our designer's name's Tiffany Hunter, and she designed ours based off of flight, belonging, and resilience, which I think is just beautiful. And I mean, I don't want to I think ours and maybe the Fire were top 2, like in the artwork. I think that they were just beautiful. But I'm being biased, obviously. Did you know I play for the Flyers and I wore that uniform? So, but actually, when she came to a couple of days, maybe day before, 2 days before our game against Townsville, Tiffany came into our meeting room and we had a yarning circle, and she decorated and painted this beautiful artwork on the ball, and we passed it around the room, and there was 2 questions she asked us we had to answer when we had the ball. One was like, what do we want who we are and what we want our legacy to be, and then the second answer was like, who has been a huge mentor for us. Well, if we don't get a Kleenex sponsorship, oh my gosh, that was so emotional. Like to hear even just, I mean, I could have sat and listened to everyone's stories for hours, but it was just a quick hour, maybe even less, of just tears and just information that I had no idea about my teammates. It was just so beautiful, and it just connected us in a whole different way. My tear ducts are getting a bit funny now just even thinking about it, but I left there feeling like 10 kilos lighter. I was like, I don't know what that was about, but that was unreal. And it was just such a peaceful, spiritual moment just to like really connect with each other, have a better understanding of each other. And Tiffany, our artist, was there emotional. So we're all bloody crying. So it was so beautiful. And so I think that just like helped our team culture, team dynamic even more, just to learn more about each other in that space and what really matters and means the most to us and who means the most to us. So that was really special. And it was really cool. I said to Christy before the game, hey, like we've got this beautiful ball. I know some other teams use like a big chain or like a belt or something, but do you want to use this ball for home games to like give to someone that, whether they be MVP or did something in the game or whatever had impact? And so I actually got the ball after the game versus Townsville. So I felt very honoured, just because it's like, it has so much meaning and beauty behind it. So I felt very honoured to receive that ball. And I'm looking forward to just like, having the ball be shared among the group after home games where, people can really embrace it, and whether they, get MVP or just have a big impact off the bench or do something really great as a teammate, or that's what being in a team environment is about, like being a great teammate, and you can't go into a season and not win a championship and think it's a failed season. Otherwise, you're failing so much, it'd just be overwhelming, right? I sound like Giannis because he talked about it a couple of years ago. But out of the 18 seasons of WNBL, I've won 4. So what, 14 of them are failures? I don't think so. Like, I've had so many lessons learned. I've become stronger as a human, stronger as a leader, stronger as a player. I've met amazing people. Like, it's win-win-win. This basketball community is such a cool, unique space where you can learn so much about yourself, about others, and meet amazing people. So it's never really a loss, right? So I'm looking forward to whatever this season looks like for us, that, it's just a big win, regardless of if we're cutting the net at the end.
Oh, well, I actually just think that's such a beautiful way to end this episode with you, Cayla. I think thanks so much for your
Got to be shouting and emotional after that.
Thank you. You can send me the bill later, all right? No, I'm kidding. It's so great to just get some insight about you, your career into the Flyers, again, the Indigenous jerseys. It's super special that I get to have athletes like you on my show. So, Georgie Gale, thank you so much for coming on board today. It was a real delight as always.
Thanks, Gal. Thanks for having me. Appreciate ya.
And for everyone else, make sure you tune in next week. It's a cold world.